Hello everyone, welcome to my channel SW Metro official channel.
Finally, Janelle has found someone new boyfriend. He is better from Kody Brown. Janelle's journey to independence. Janelle's departure from Kody was a long time coming. Unlike Mary, who endured years of emotional distance, or Christine, who boldly walked away first, Janelle had always been the pragmatic, level-headed wife. She valued independence, financial stability, and a partnership based on mutual respect, qualities Kody failed to provide in their later years. As Kody became more entrenched in his rigid beliefs, particularly during the COVID-19 pandemic, and showed blatant favoritism toward Robyn, Janelle realized she was no longer a priority. Their once strong friendship, which had been the foundation of their marriage, had eroded, leaving Janelle feeling more like a business partner than a beloved spouse. When she finally left, fans cheered her decision. Janelle had spent decades putting her family first, raising 6 children, Logan, Madison, Hunter, Garrison, Gabriel, and Savannah, while navigating the complexities of plural marriage. Now, for the first time in years, she was free to focus on herself, her happiness, her goals, and her future. A new love, why he's better than Kody. Rumors of Janelle dating again began circulating in early 2024, and by mid-year, she confirmed she was in a new relationship. While she has kept his identity private out of respect for their budding romance, sources close to her describe him as kind, emotionally available, and deeply supportive of her independence. Unlike Kody, who often dismissed Janelle's opinions and needs, her new boyfriend actively listens to her, encourages her ambitions, and treats her as an equal partner. Here's why he's already proving to be a better match than Kody ever was. 1. He respects her independence. Janelle has always been the most self-sufficient of Kody's wives. She managed finances, pursued her own career, and made logical decisions for her family, qualities Kody claimed to admire but often undermined. Her new boyfriend, however, doesn't see her independence as a threat. Instead, he celebrates it. He supports her goals, whether it's her wellness coaching business, her love for travel, or her desire to build her own home, something Kody repeatedly stalled on. 2. He prioritizes emotional connection. One of the biggest cracks in Janelle and Kody's marriage was the lack of emotional intimacy. Kody's love was conditional, often tied to obedience rather than genuine affection. Janelle's new partner, on the other hand, makes an effort to connect with her on a deeper level. Friends say he's attentive, communicates openly, and isn't afraid to show vulnerability, a stark contrast to Kody's often cold and dismissive demeanor. 3. He gets along with her kids. Janelle's children have been her greatest joy, and their strained relationship with Kody was a major factor in her decision to leave. Her new boyfriend, however, has made a positive impression on them. Unlike Kody, who alienated his sons Garrison and Gabriel with his harsh COVID rules and favoritism, Janelle's new partner respects her role as a mother and has taken steps to build a healthy relationship with her kids. 4. He doesn't play favorites. A recurring theme in Sister Wives was Kody's blatant favoritism toward Robyn, leaving his other wives feeling neglected. Janelle's new relationship is monogamous, meaning she doesn't have to compete for attention or affection. For the first time in decades, she is someone's first and only priority, a feeling she hasn't experienced since the early days of her marriage to Kody. 5. He encourages her happiness. Perhaps the most telling difference between Kody and Janelle's new boyfriend is their approach to her happiness. Kody expected his wives to conform to his needs, often at the expense of their own well-being. Janelle's new partner, however, wants her to thrive. Whether it's traveling, exploring new hobbies, or simply enjoying peace away from drama, he supports her in living her best life. How fans are reacting. The Sister Wives fandom has overwhelmingly embraced Janelle's new relationship. Social media is flooded with supportive messages, with fans expressing joy at seeing her finally get the love she deserves. Many have pointed out how much lighter and happier Janelle appears in recent interviews and Instagram posts, proof that leaving Kody was the right choice. Christine, who also found love post-Kody with her now husband David Woolley, has been one of Janelle's biggest cheerleaders. The two women, once sister wives, are now closer than ever, bonding over their newfound happiness and freedom from Kody's control. What this means for Kody. While Janelle and Christine are thriving in their new relationships, Kody's situation is quite different. With Mary long gone and only Robin remaining as his legal wife, his dream of a large, united plural family has crumbled. His strained relationships with most of his children, particularly Janelle's sons, and his public reputation as a neglectful husband have left him isolated. Some fans speculate that Kody may feel regret seeing his former wives move on so successfully, while others believe his ego will prevent him from acknowledging his role in the family's breakdown. Either way, Janelle's happiness is the ultimate proof that walking away was the right decision. A bright future ahead. Janelle Brown's story is one of resilience. After years of putting her family first, she's now embracing a new chapter filled with love, respect, and personal fulfillment. Her new boyfriend may not be in the public eye like Kody, but that's part of what makes him perfect for her. He's there for her, not for fame or control. As she continues to build her life on her own terms, fans can't help but root for her. Janelle has always been the quiet strength of the Brown family, and now, she's finally reaping the rewards of her courage. Kody's loss is truly another man's gain, and Janelle's happily ever after is just beginning. Finally, Janelle Brown, one of the most beloved stars of Sister Wives, has moved on from the years of heartbreak, disappointment, and emotional neglect she endured in her plural marriage with Kody Brown, and fans couldn't be happier for her now that she has found someone new who treats her with kindness, respect, and genuine affection, qualities that were often absent in her previous relationship with Kody. And as we examine the journey that brought her to this joyful new chapter in her life, it becomes clear why this new boyfriend is so much better than Kody in almost every possible way, because for years, Janelle's story was one of resilience and quiet endurance, as she tried to make her marriage to Kody work, raising her 6 children in the midst of chaos, drama, and constant shifting dynamics within the Brown family, while she put her needs last and focused on her kids, her career, and her stability, which often made her seem like the pragmatic, grounded one compared to Kody's impulsive, domineering, and self-centered behavior. But underneath her calm and composed exterior, Janelle was suffering from the lack of intimacy, partnership, and emotional validation that she truly deserved, and viewers saw over time how Kody's obsession with Robin and his gradual emotional withdrawal from Janelle left her isolated, rejected, and often feeling like she was nothing more than a placeholder in his life rather than an equal partner, especially during the COVID years when Kody refused to split his time fairly among his wives and essentially abandoned Janelle for Robin, creating a wedge between him and the children Janelle raised largely on her own, which caused an irreparable breakdown in the marriage. So when Janelle finally found the courage to walk away, fans admired her bravery, but many wondered whether she would ever be open to love again after everything she went through. And now, against the odds, she has found someone new, a boyfriend who not only cherishes her for who she is but also proves by his actions that he is better than Kody ever was, because unlike Kody, who often thrived on control and power within his relationships, Janelle's new man appears to celebrate her independence, encouraging her to continue chasing her passions, whether it's her wellness journey, her business pursuits, or her adventures with her children, showing that he understands a partnership isn't about dominance but about mutual respect, and that shift alone makes him infinitely better than Kody, since Kody's downfall was his inability to respect his wives as equals and instead treating them as if they should serve his emotional needs without expecting reciprocity, while Janelle's new partner is giving her the balance she always needed, and from what fans can tell, he also brings warmth, humor, and stability to her life, qualities that Kody seemed to lose long ago as he spiraled deeper into bitterness and resentment, constantly blaming his ex-wives for their failures while never reflecting on his own actions. And this contrast is stark, when you look at Janelle smiling with her new boyfriend compared to the exhaustion and disappointment etched on her face during her final seasons with Kody. You can see a woman who has been freed from years of emotional neglect, and that transformation speaks volumes about the power of being loved properly, because for so long, Janelle compromised, sacrificed, and adjusted her expectations just to keep her family together, even tolerating being treated as though she was secondary to Robin. But now she no longer has to accept crumbs when she deserves the whole meal, and this new man is serving her the love, loyalty, and companionship she was denied, proving once again that when someone truly values you, They don't make you beg for attention or justify why you deserve basic respect, they give it freely because they see your worth, and that is what makes him better than Kody. But there's also another layer to this. Janelle's children, who watched their mother suffer under Kody's neglect and who themselves struggled with their father's lack of presence, seem to approve of this new man, which is perhaps the ultimate sign that he's right for her, because her kids are her world, and if they see that this man makes their mother happier than she has been in decades, it validates what fans have believed all along, that Janelle deserved to find a partner who puts her first. Instead of constantly competing for scraps of attention in a dysfunctional polygamous marriage, and the symbolism here is huge, this isn't just about romance, it's about a woman reclaiming her voice, her joy, and her dignity after years of suppression, because while Kody often dismissed Janelle's opinions and invalidated her concerns, her new boyfriend listens, values her input, and treats her like a queen, and that shift in dynamics is why so many fans are celebrating this moment, saying things like, finally Janelle has what she deserves and she looks 10 years younger with him, because love that uplifts rather than diminishes you has a way of making you glow, and Janelle's glow is undeniable these days, reminding fans that sometimes the ending of one chapter, no matter how painful, is necessary to open the door to something better, and in Janelle's case, that something better is a man who shows up for her in ways Kody never did, from emotional availability to shared laughter to the simple act of being present without making everything about himself, and when you compare the selfishness, arrogance, and gaslighting behaviors that Kody displayed over the years to the gentleness, encouragement, and partnership this new man brings into Janelle's life, there really is no competition, and the irony is that Kody, who always believed he was the prize, has now been replaced by someone who shows us what true partnership looks like, and the contrast exposes Kody for who he really is, a man who failed to nurture the very relationships he built his identity on, while highlighting Janelle's resilience and finally moving on. And if we dig deeper into why this new boyfriend is better, it's not just because he treats her well romantically but also because he's aligning with the life Janelle has been building post-Kody, a life centered around health, freedom, self-discovery, and meaningful connections, whereas Kody was dragging her down with constant negativity, family feuds, and his obsession with control. This man lifts her up, reminding her and everyone watching that love should never be a burden, and as we witness Janelle thrive, it becomes a story not just about one woman finding love again but also about a universal truth: no one should settle for less than they deserve, and by walking away from Kody and finding someone better, Janelle becomes a symbol of hope for anyone who has ever felt trapped in an unfulfilling relationship, showing that it is never too late to start over, never too late to demand respect, and never too late to embrace joy. And perhaps the sweetest part of this entire story is knowing that Kody, who once seemed to believe his wives couldn't survive without him, must now see that not only is Janelle surviving without him, she is thriving, glowing, and being cherished by a man who is unequivocally better, kinder, and more deserving of her love, which is a poetic justice that fans have been waiting for, because after everything she endured on Sister Wives, after all the sacrifices and disappointments, Janelle finally gets to experience what it feels like to be truly chosen, not as part of a polygamous arrangement where she was an afterthought, but as the one and only woman in a man's life, and that difference alone makes her new relationship infinitely sweeter. So yes, finally Janelle has found someone new, and he is without a doubt better than Kody Brown, because he is everything Kody was not: loving, loyal, respectful, supportive, and genuinely invested in her happiness, and that is the kind of love story fans will always root for.